From stolen Viking helmets to ancient wine factories, these discoveries reveal forgotten chapters of history. Join us as we uncover 15 astonishing artifacts, each with a story to tell about the past's hidden secrets. Let's dig in. In October 2021, a metal detectorist scanning a field near Tiffin Castle in Switzerland made an extraordinary discovery: a remarkably well-preserved Roman dagger. The find immediately attracted archaeological attention, leading to a full-scale excavation of the site. What emerged from this investigation was evidence of a 2,000-year-old battlefield, likely the scene of a violent confrontation between Roman forces and the local Cyian tribes during Rome's prolonged campaign to assert control over the region. The dagger itself is a masterpiece of ancient craftsmanship, featuring intricate brass and silver inlays that speak to its value as both a weapon and a status symbol. One particularly compelling theory suggests that the dagger may have been deliberately buried by a Roman legionnaire as a votive offering, a sacrifice to the gods in exchange for victory in battle. This practice was not uncommon in the ancient world, where soldiers often left valuable possessions at battle sites as part of religious rituals. The fact that such a finely made weapon was left behind indicates that its owner considered it a worthwhile trade for survival on the battlefield. In October 2021, researchers made an unusual but groundbreaking discovery while studying ancient human waste preserved in the Hallstatt salt mine in the Austrian Alps. These 2,700-year-old fecal samples, remarkably well preserved thanks to the mine's stable, salty environment, offered an unprecedented look at the dietary habits of Iron Age miners. Analysis revealed that these workers consumed blue cheese and beer, providing the earliest direct evidence of intentional fermentation practices in this region. The presence of these fermented products suggests a level of culinary sophistication previously underestimated among ancient Austrian populations. Beyond the cheese and beer, the fossilized waste contained traces of various other foods, including cereals, fruits, beans, and meat, painting a picture of a surprisingly balanced and varied diet. This challenges older assumptions that prehistoric diets were monotonous or nutritionally inadequate. Archaeologists working in Russia's Ostrogozhsk district made a spectacular find in November 2021, a 2,400-year-old Scythian warrior's grave filled with extraordinary artifacts. The tomb's contents immediately signaled the high status of its occupant, likely a chieftain or particularly revered warrior. Among the most striking items was a silver plate decorated with intricate depictions of griffins and winged gods, showcasing the cultural exchange between the Scythians and Greek civilizations to the south. The burial also contained an array of gold jewelry, weapons, and a helmet, all indicative of the warrior's elite status. A particularly intriguing inclusion was a horse rib, possibly representing a food offering for the afterlife. The presence of such grave goods follows Scythian burial traditions, which often involved interring the deceased with items they might need in the next world. The tomb's northern location is somewhat unusual for finds of this richness, suggesting that Scythian influence may have extended further than previously believed. Excavations in Jerusalem uncovered a rare luxury item from the First Temple period, a 2,700-year-old limestone toilet found in the remains of what was clearly an opulent garden setting. In ancient Jerusalem, private toilets were extreme rarities, available only to the wealthiest members of society. This particular example was even equipped with a primitive septic system, demonstrating advanced understanding of sanitation for its time. The toilet's discovery provides fascinating insights into the living conditions of Jerusalem's elite during this period. However, archaeologists were puzzled by the animal bones and pottery fragments found inside the septic area. These could represent ritual deposits, accidental inclusions, or evidence of how the space was repurposed after the toilet fell out of use. A nearly pristine 5th century gold ring and clasp discovered in Rakovník, Czech Republic, in 2021 represents an exceptional example of early medieval jewelry craftsmanship. The ring is set with Czech garnets and what appear to be Indian or Sri Lankan almondines, indicating participation in long-distance trade networks that connected Central Europe to South Asia. While the accompanying clasp was found broken, the ring itself shows no signs of wear, suggesting it may have been deliberately buried rather than lost. One plausible explanation is that it was hidden for safekeeping during a time of unrest, a practice documented in other archaeological contexts when owners faced imminent danger and hoped to recover their valuables later. The quality of the ring's construction and the value of its materials strongly suggest it belonged to someone of high social standing, possibly nobility. In 2011, a collection of lead-bound books surfaced from a Jordanian cave, sparking intense debate among scholars. These palm-sized codices contain cryptic inscriptions and Kabbalistic symbols, with some pages suggesting early Christian or Jewish mystical texts. Initial skepticism arose due to inconsistent lettering styles and questionable provenance. However, metallurgical analysis confirmed the lead sheets and leather bindings date back approximately 2,000 years. While the materials are ancient, the authenticity of the texts remains contentious. Some researchers argue they represent coded religious knowledge, while others maintain they may be an elaborate historical forgery. The codices' unresolved nature makes them one of archaeology's most puzzling recent discoveries. The 2006 discovery of the Newbridge Chariot near Edinburgh overturned assumptions about Iron Age Britain. Unlike typical British chariot burials, where vehicles were ritually dismantled, this specimen was buried intact, complete with its iron-rimmed wheels and yoke. This practice closely mirrors continental European customs, particularly those of the Gauls, suggesting previously underestimated cultural exchange across the English Channel during the 5th-3rd centuries BCE. The chariot's preservation also revealed sophisticated woodworking techniques, while the absence of human remains hints at either a symbolic burial or later disturbance of the site. Excavations near Leipzig in 2012 uncovered humanity's oldest known purse, a 4,500-year-old leather pouch decorated with over 100 dog teeth. The canines were meticulously arranged in rows, their enamel still gleaming after millennia. While initially assumed to be a status symbol, the presence of wear patterns suggests practical use. The teeth may have served as rattling ornaments or protective amulets, paralleling later Bronze Age beliefs about animal parts warding off evil. This find revolutionizes our understanding of prehistoric fashion, proving that accessories carried both functional and symbolic weight long before modern handbags existed. A 2015 excavation in Bulgaria yielded a 1st century vase bearing a faint but legible Greek inscription, Solon's Prayer to the Muses. Archaeologists propose that the text transferred accidentally from a parchment pressed against the unfired clay. This serendipitous preservation confirms that ancient Thracians engaged with Greek literature, challenging assumptions about regional literacy. The vase's context within a domestic setting suggests Hellenistic cultural influence penetrated daily life, not just elite circles. Interestingly, the poem's philosophical themes may indicate its owner valued intellectual pursuits alongside practical pottery use. Recent reanalysis of a Sikhan culture gold mask, circa 900–1100 CE, revealed a grisly detail. Its crimson coating contained proteins from human blood mixed with bird egg whites. This sacred paint was likely applied during funeral rites for a noble, symbolizing life force and rebirth. The mask's craftsmanship is equally striking, hammered from a single gold sheet with slit eyes, allowing the deceased to see the afterlife, and elongated ears denoting elite status. Found in a Lambayeka Valley tomb, it exemplifies how the Sikhan blended metallurgical skill with profound spiritual beliefs, using literal blood to bridge the mortal and divine realms. In 2010, a rare 11th century Viking helmet emerged from Romania's River Siret, only to disappear into the black market before archaeologists could properly document it. The helmet, likely traded through Kievan Rus, a Viking-founded state, was stolen shortly after its discovery, leaving only photographs as evidence. For over a decade, its whereabouts remained unknown until an anonymous tip led Romanian police to recover it in February 2021. Miraculously undamaged, the artifact now resides in a museum, offering researchers a rare glimpse into Viking craftsmanship and trade networks. Its survival against the odds makes it as much a story of modern crime as ancient history. Discovered in 1855 in County Cavan, Ireland, this 1,900-year-old stone carving depicts 3 distinct faces on a single head, a puzzling deviation from typical Celtic depictions of deities. Each face bears unique features, one with heavy brows, another with a slit mouth, and the third with a gaping hole. While often linked to the god Crom Cruach, usually shown with one face, its true meaning remains debated. Found near a Romano-Irish shrine, the head suggests a blending of Celtic and Roman religious influences, hinting at Ireland's complex cultural exchanges during the early centuries CE. Unearthed in Kinis, Iraq in 2021, this 2,800-year-old industrial-scale wine press is adorned with carvings of Assyrian gods and kings, including Ishtar, the goddess of love and war, depicted riding a lion. Among the oldest known wine production sites, it features 14 grape-pressing basins, suggesting mass output likely reserved for elites or religious ceremonies. The reliefs may have served a dual purpose, glorifying King Sennacherib, who commissioned the facility, and reminding workers to honor the gods and their ruler for their livelihood. A metal detectorist on Denmark's Funen Island, 2015, found a 2-inch bronze bust of Silenus, the perpetually intoxicated tutor of Dionysus. This miniature masterpiece, likely once attached to a Roman lectus dining couch, would have overseen wine-soaked feasts. Silenus, a figure of both wisdom and revelry, embodied the duality of Roman banquets, intellectual discourse, and unrestrained indulgence. His presence on a couch armrest suggests guests were literally dining under the gaze of debauchery's patron saint.